I did experience my first major truck breakdown. So, to get a little backstory, what's actually happened yesterday. So it did happen yesterday. I was supposed to go to LA and I was delivering a load in Fowler, picking it up in Fresno, basically going towards LA. And then I it just doesn't miss. Like as soon as I was like literally like one block away from my pickup. Um, I thought it was a transmission issue, but apparently I didn't find out yesterday it was the clutch that went out on the truck. So no wonder why I was not going to gear or trying to find a gear, but has never found it. So yeah, for automatic truck, I learned something new. I did not know these freaking automatic trucks had a clutch in generally in the first place, but it kind of makes sense because I believe there was one time in my video as well too that I did mention about because there was like a overheating clutch thing when I was with Heartland, I believe. I think it was either Heartland or May. I don't remember. I know it was one of them two companies. But I mean, if you don't know, and this just makes sense. Now it explains everything. Like I guess automatic trucks do have clutches. That is crazy. Like you just didn't think like automatics have clutch. I mean, it makes sense with the whole automated thing. So it's starting to make a lot more sense now. So I guess the automated trucks have a clutch. Yeah, and that went out. Like literally like one block from my pickup. And it was like right there too. So yeah, I had to go home, spend the night at home yesterday in Sacramento. So and I was supposed to leave. So I basically lost money on that load. So fortunately we don't get breakdown pay or anything like that. I kinda wish it did because at certain times like this, when a major like breakdown happens, like that situation right there, I feel like we should get paid for breakdown pay for that reason. But I have to understand it's a small company. It's not like a mega carrier. But then again, I feel like it's no excuse. I feel like they should give some kind of additional pay, incentive pay or something, to make up for my lost time yesterday and all that stuff. Because I did lost a load yesterday, so lost on a load yesterday. So because I couldn't pick it up because the clutch on the truck just went out, which doesn't make sense because it's an automatic truck. You know, makes no sense at all. But whatever, I guess. But yeah, so today, they finally sent me like a new truck, a new better truck. I feel like. I did came back from checking that truck out. It's still not ready yet, so it won't be ready till 7 today. So 7 p.m. today. So which is roughly about 3 hours from now. So I just want to check the truck out and see what it looks like and see what I'm getting myself into. If I got to clean anything like that, which I don't. They're doing all for me. And they were replacing a mud flap because a mud flap on the truck on a new one is not there, so they're fixing that currently. And I told them about the fog light being out too as well, and on the passenger side, so they're fixing that too as well. So yeah, so I would say the new truck is probably gonna be better because it does smell a whole lot better now, and the bed is better too. I feel like so. The bed is better, of course, so than my other truck. So maybe it was a sign. It's just a sign right there at this point. But I want to get two new, but it's a different truck from my other one, and I feel like the new sign truck is a lot better than my old one is already as it is, and I haven't got a chance to drive it yet. So I still gotta get my stuff too from the other truck, so I didn't get a chance to take my major stuff from my job from my other truck because I just did not think I was gonna get like a new sign truck. So that's comfort show. Like anything can happen out on the road, you know. So I'm gonna put this AC on because there's a little bit stuff in here. Not a lot, but I hope you guys can still hear me because you guys are right next to the AC vents. I try not to use it too much. But like if I'm getting hot, then I'll have to use it. But anyways, yeah, so that happened yesterday. I wound up getting a ride back to Sacramento from another truck driver from the company. So because he was going basically back to Sacramento anyways from Fresno, so it just happened to be like right there, and the shop was like right next to my pickup is too. Supposed to really pick up at so in Fresno. So yeah, so I was actually 3 hours away, and then so I talked to the shop and stuff. They're gonna leave the main gate open for me, so that way I could get my stuff, which is very very cool. Like those guys are pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, it helped out a lot. You know, so I'm there. Like I appreciate them a lot and all that stuff because I was just stuck on them. Like in this situation, I wasn't. I was stuck in an intersection. Like it was like a stop sign intersection. It wasn't like a traffic light or anything like that. It was like a stop sign, really. But I was stuck on that for at least for almost 2 hours. Yeah, and cars had to go around me, and trucks had to swing really wide around me because I just couldn't move the truck yesterday. You know, so I got a tow, and then I wanted to just get a tow basically to the shop because I couldn't move the truck at all. So yeah, um, yeah. So trucking could really be preventable a lot of things. I feel like, and it's one of those things that happen out of my control. Like what? Because there was nothing I could have done differently about it at all. Like because in a way, that's how the industry is. Like things gonna happen out of nowhere. You least expect it to happen. So there was nothing I could have done differently or improve on that because it was just gonna happen one way or another with that. Especially the truck that had 700 plus thousand miles on it. So I feel like something was gonna eventually break. So yeah, the clutch on the transmission just went out. So I mean, it's an old truck, has a lot of miles on it. So basically, what's gonna happen sooner or later on that. So yeah, so that's the news and that's the update. So you just have to be careful out here on this road, like you really do, because so hopefully this next load that I get tonight, it basically makes up for from yesterday, basically. So because I want to run like one load yesterday, from Sac to Flower, which is in the Fresno area. So and then I was supposed to pick up another load from Fresno to LA, basically to make up for to still get my miles and all that stuff. So, but the pay here is it's decent. Like it's pretty much the same amount I'm making at Amazon, but more. I feel like just a little bit more from Amazon. So I was able to take home 1,100 a week take home, and that was just on a good week, and that was only me running. I think only 4 days as well too. Yeah, I think that was only me like running only 4 days out and 2 days home as well. So I could have probably made a lot more, but I like having my weekends off and stuff. So that's just comes with a sacrifice. I'll take a little bit of pay cut as long as I get my weekends off. Because outside of the truck, you just gotta have a life. So I truly value my home time more than anything. So I always put home time as my number one right there. Like second, obviously should be pay, but I know most drivers go for pay, but pay is really important, and the pay here is pretty decent, so it's not that terrible or bad, anything like that. And I know it could make a lot more as well, so than what I'm making on Amazon. But you do have to factor in I'm a regional driver and I do sleep in a truck. It's not very often because I actually do come home every other day basically, so all they have is really sleepers there. So basically, so I like the range of the layovers is between 2 to 3 layovers a week, but I'm probably gonna do a layover twice this week because I was supposed to. Yeah, you kind of get the point, but yeah. So I'll probably most likely this week I'm probably gonna do two layovers this week, but my average is between 2 to 3 layovers a week because I am home every other day too for my 10-hour reset, and then a 40-hour reset on top of that on the weekends. So the whole time here is really great. I'm not gonna lie. So like it's pretty darn close to local. So I just mainly run from Sacramento to LA and back. That's it really. Nothing too major or anything like that. So, but sometimes I do take the 99 and sometimes I take the 5. So, anyways, let me read these comments so I can catch up with y'all. Instead of me yapping too much. Anyways, hello to Emily. Green apple. What do you mean green apple? You like to eat green apples or are you just... I don't know. But anyways. And dude, while I was getting a ride back home... Oh yeah, I actually gotta tell y'all a story. But first, let me just read out to you guys' comments before I can tell you guys a story that happened yesterday too. Besides the breakdown. Hi, green apple. I mean, green apples is always good too. I mean, I like green apples as well too. Can't go wrong with that. Apples is always good. I get it on that. I get it. You like apples. It's cool. But anyways, let me not get too off topic. Let me just tell you a story that happened yesterday too. Besides my breakdown, it kind of involves on the ride back home from another truck driver from the company. When I tell you this, dude, he had no business driving the truck. He really had no business driving a fucking truck in general. So after he picked me up and stuff, I asked him like, how many years do you have, of driving? And I told him like, you going north or south? But he's going north, he said. And then, yeah, he told me he had like 3 years experience and 6 months with the company. And then I was like, okay. And then once we got out a little bit of Fresno area, yeah, he started doing some stuff that a truck driver shouldn't do. Like, okay, what did I start with? The first one he did, which I gave him that, I was like looking at him a little bit, like weirdly, not like too weird, but just like that look. I'm like, hey man, like pay attention to the road kind of look, because like he's hauling, because you're in an 80,000 pound vehicle with with freight on top of it. So on top of that, I don't know why I said that twice, but anyways. So the first thing he did was swerve the right lane a little bit, and then he was going. So when I mean swerve the right lane, he was like outside the lane. He was in the right lane. He was like going outside the right lane, where to the point like the shoulder thing or wherever the group. Yeah, I think it's called grooves. Yeah, until you hear the groove sound, I'm like, dude, you okay? Like like maintain your lane, dude. Like, come on now. You're hauling a freaking 80,000 pound vehicle with freight on the back, and plus me, I'm not trying to fucking die here. So, and it's pretty obvious. He only knew maybe like a few words in English, but I fucking didn't know English at all at that point. So I kind of stopped talking to him and gave him like signs and all that stuff, a little bit of signs here and there, and he kind of like caught it and understand where I was coming from a little bit. But and then on top of that, so he was not only just doing that. Yeah, he was picking up his phone. He was texting and driving. He was fucking calling with, not with a phone or anything, because I don't think he had a phone at all in his truck. But so he was like literally picking up the phone and talking the phone with the phone on and stuff. And that camera was just going off like crazy. The front facing camera was just going off like fucking insanely nuts. And I had to deal with that for like the next 3 hours, dude. It was terrible. So I was like, bro, you good to drive this truck? Because if you're not good to drive this truck, I'll drive the truck for you. I was getting to that point, dude. Like, bro, I still have hours on my clock, so I can still make it back and shit. If he's feeling tired or whatever the case may be, I'm not sure he ran all night or something, but dude, like, if you're swerving this shit and you can't maintain your lane, bro, you don't have no business driving a truck in general. I hate to tell you this, you just don't. You know, I was gonna tell him that, but I was just saying things in my head, you know, because I wasn't trying to get kicked off the truck in the middle of fucking nowhere. So I was like, you know what? Let me just be nice about it, you know, as a cool dude, chill dude of everything, you know. And then hopefully he gets a hint of like, hey, bro, you have me. Not only me, you got this freight in the back, and on top of that, you drive this 8,000 pound vehicle. Please focus on the road, you know. So like he was texting, he was driving, and then talking on the phone while driving by his phone, and he was kind of like, and when he did all that, it was like we were like on a bridge, dude, and I was like, dude, I swear to God, I hope I don't fucking die today, dude. I'm like, man, like I don't understand like how these drivers be doing what they doing. And like I feel like it's not okay. If you try to pull that shit off in a mag carrier, dude, like you'll get fired right off the spot for doing that shit. You know, they don't fuck around and play with that shit, honestly, but they say the same thing here, but I feel like they're not gonna really enforce it. You know, because like, dude, like I really just feel like this dude's gonna kill somebody one day. Like I don't know, like, you know. I wanted to tell the safety department and all that stuff and the owner who would hiring him, you know. It's not like, hey, dude, like he's swerving all the lanes. He had no business driving a truck. You know, he's swerving. He's texting on his phone driving. You know, things you shouldn't fucking do as a truck driver, but he's doing all that bad shit and bad samples that truck drivers shouldn't fucking do. You know, so I'm like, dude, and plus he was with me on top of that. Like, dude, you have another human being in the truck. You're not by yourself. Like, I understand you hate your fucking life or whatever the case may be. I want to fucking live and go home. You know? Like, that's just not okay with that shit. You know? I hate that shit. Like, I understand why they be hiring drivers like that on the fucking highways, dude. Knowing damn well they're gonna kill somebody out here on this road one day. Like, I don't understand it. You know? Like, and I don't believe he drives for fucking 3 years, dude. If you would have drive for 3 years, you would not be pulling some shit off like that. Because when you first off, anyways, you gotta work for fucking mega carriers, okay? And mega carriers are strict as shit when it comes to holding your phone and fucking texting and driving. Those are the main things you should not fucking do as a truck driver. If you try to pull that shit off in a mega carrier, you'll get fired right on the spot just like that. I'm telling you, dude. Like, these small companies, man, they be getting with some bullshit like that. Like, you know, I had to say something at that point, dude. Like, you know, that shit was not okay, bro. I had to deal with that shit for 3 fucking hours, dude. Of him not maintaining his lane, texting and driving, and that camera going off like crazy. So, I'm like, dude, like, you need to invest in a phone holder or something, or phone mount, because you shouldn't be doing that while driving. Invest on a headset, even if it's just like AirPods or something, or a trucker headset or some shit. If you can't afford fucking a trucker headset, at least get one of these, okay? Like, you know, I've been using this shit, surprisingly, in this career for about 2 years. Never had a single issue with it, you know. Still hands free at the end of the day. So, I know it's a little bit hard to hear a little bit because of the old bumps in the road and things like that, but it's something to use before you get a trigger headset, okay? Just at least use that, okay? At least fucking use that shit. You know? Before you fucking, so that way you're not holding your phone and holding that way you're not fucking texting and driving and shit. You know? Yeah, I see text messages here and there, but I don't reply to that shit. I reply as soon as like, you know, I set my brakes and all that shit. I'm somewhere that I could park at. Then I reply to that, but I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing no shit like that when I'm driving. Like, you know, I work so fucking hard to get my CDL already as it is. So the last thing I want to do is do all that and ruin it all in one fucking day, you know? So I guess that's just me. I don't know. Like, I don't understand why drivers like that are still out here on this road, you know? Because I really feel like that dude's going to kill somebody one day. Like, I don't know. I kind of wish I would have known his name. I forgot his name, so I didn't get a chance to ask his name. So, yeah. Yeah, I just don't understand why drivers be doing shit like that, you know? Especially when you have a whole ass human on the road with them and shit. Like, bro. But anyways, let me just stop before I get too much on a tangent like that, because this is comfort show, guys. Just don't do shit like that, okay? Just invest in a phone mount, invest in a fucking headset or AirPods, just in case you can't afford a trucker headset. You know, because I get it, some trucker headsets are kind of expensive here and there, or who knows, they might be cheap now. I haven't got a chance to get one yet. I feel like I should get one, but because I was on local for like 5 months, so I didn't go back to regional really till pretty much last month of March 18th. So yeah, so I've been with this company for like, it's gonna be a month in about 2 days from now. So yeah. Anyways, let me try this. So I don't want to be renting this car too much because I'm pretty much home right now and I'm just sitting in this car right now at this point. So I just came on here to rant to y'all guys about that and what's going on. And trucking could be very, very unpredictable. So a lot of things can happen on this road. You just gotta be careful out here as it is. You know, even breakdowns happen too as well. But it is what it is on that shit, you know. So I'm gonna stop ranting and I'm gonna get off here. And I will catch you guys the next time till I post a video. But I'm thinking about just going back to vlogs too as well with the GoPro. And not with the GoPro, probably with my phone. And see how that goes. Because yeah, if I do like a little bit chill here with that stuff, so I think it should be fine as long as it's like hands free, you know. So they won't have a problem with that. So at all. So yeah, so the GoPros might be back, but the thing is, I do drive at night sometimes too. So I'm not sure you guys want to see nighttime stuff, trucking at night and shit, because I got a truck tonight too as well. So tonight, so I'm gonna be trucking throughout the night tonight and all that shit with the newest time truck. And yeah, and then from there. So when I get some day stuff, which I've been getting some day shifts lately, like I should have just started vlogging at that point, you know, but I was just trying to get used to my job and how things operate and all that stuff. So once I got used to that, then I will be fine, you know. And the company's been pretty good to me with the home time and the pay, so I can't really complain too much on that. But I kind of wish they'll have a little bit more pay incentive. That's the only thing I could really complain about. But other words, I feel like the company I'm with right now, they've been pretty good to me. So I can't really complain too much about that. So as long as my home time and my pay is right, we good. That's all I care about at the end of the day. And that's what any job cares about. It's about the home time, their pay. Like, if you don't have any of those two things, like simply, I'm just gonna go start looking elsewhere, start applying elsewhere, and once I know I got that job, then I'm out. That's just how it is with that. So, you know, I don't take no BS from these companies anymore. I got tired of doing that shit, dude. Well, you gotta really learn out here on this road, dude. Like, nobody's loyal to you at the end of the day. So, not even truck driving this industry, trucking industry alone, this is not loyal to anybody. So, the only thing you can be loyal to is yourself. And the only person that's really got your back is yourself at the end of the day, okay? Just remember that, guys. All right, yo, I'm going to hop out. Hope you guys have a good day. / good night. You guys are going to be driving at night.